In my previous life, I resented my little sister for stealing my food, so I personally pushed her to the ground. She was driven out by my cold indifference, hugging a water canteen, and froze to death in a trap. Even after death, she kept the pose of warming the canteen for me. I was wealthy beyond measure all my life. Yet I woke up from nightmares every night and finally went mad and died. Back to the day my 3-year-old sister disappeared. I slapped myself hard 20 times and crawled on my knees into the deep mountains. This time, when I picked her up, her icy little hand touched my swollen face, and she asked in a baby voice, "Does Guagua hurt? Let Zayajita blow on it for you." I burst into loud sobs. I was lying in a luxurious hospital room, surrounded by a crowd of people arguing noisily. They were my descendants, Hong Tianbao's children and grandchildren, and at this moment they were quarreling fiercely over dividing the family property. I closed my eyes, and my consciousness gradually faded. In this life, I had built up a fortune of hundreds of millions, but at the moment before death, what I missed most was still that little girl who called me Guagua. "Zayajita, Big Brother is coming. If there is an afterlife, Big Brother still wants to meet you." I suddenly woke up with a start. A shabby earthen house, with a propaganda poster of working people on the wall, and the calendar stopped in the late 1970s. I was stunned for 2 seconds, then bounced up from the calm. I had been reborn. Outside the door, 2 anxious figures paced back and forth, muttering, "Why hasn't Zayajita come back yet? Dad, Mom." When I shouted these 2 words, my vision was already blurred. In my previous life, it was on this very day that everything was ruined. My name is Hong Tianbao, and I have a younger sister whose nickname is Zayajita. In my previous life, I hated her deeply, found her troublesome, and resented that she took away the already scarce food at home. But that silly girl always stuffed her share of good food into my hands. Even when I pushed her to the ground, she didn't cry. She got up with tears in her eyes and still wanted to hug me. Until that day, she disappeared. The 3.5-year-old girl, holding a military green canteen half her size, ran alone into the mountains to bring me water. She fell into an abandoned hunter's trap. When the patrolman found her, her body was already stiff, and she was still tightly clutching the canteen. After that, my mother cried all day and soon passed away. My father's health deteriorated. He started drinking heavily and kept muttering why he had said that little Bao must be thirsty after picking fruit. In my previous life, after picking wild fruit and eating my fill, I came back and slept. I didn't even worry when my sister went missing. By the time I got anxious, it was already too late. That Zayajita, who used to chase after me all day calling Guagua, Guagua, would never come back. "You only know how to sleep. Your sister hasn't been seen yet, and you still have the mind to sleep?" My father scolded me, then hurried out to look for her. "Tianbao, stay home and wait for your sister. When she comes back, go and notify us." After saying that, my mother also hurried away. The conversation was exactly the same as in my previous life, but this time it was different. I knew my sister had only gone missing today, and everything was still in time. As soon as my parents' figures disappeared, I grabbed a machete from the door and rushed out like crazy. "Zayajita, don't be afraid, Big Brother is coming. In this life, Big Brother will definitely protect you well." Just as I reached the village entrance, a sturdy figure blocked me. Hong Dazhuang, the little bully who loved to pick on me the most in the village. "Yo, our little skinny guy, where's Zayajita today? You don't like your sister, so give her to my family," he said with a grin, blocking the middle of the road. I stopped, and my voice was as cold as if it seeped out of an ice cellar. "Get out of the way." "Hey, I won't move. What can you?" Before he could finish, I swung the machete and slashed at his forehead. Dazhuang quickly dodged to the side, and the blade grazed past his scalp. "Holy crap, you really cut me. You lunatic. You lunatic. If you block me again, you will die today." I ran past him with the knife, without stopping. Dazhuang touched the cold sweat on his forehead, his legs weak. So close, just a little more, and he would have met his great-grandmother. From now on, he would never provoke this madman again. The sky was getting darker, and the mountain forest darkened quickly. I ran desperately toward the location of the trap from memory. My lungs burned like fire, but I couldn't feel it at all. My sister was there. She must be extremely scared. "Zayajita, where are you? Big Brother is coming to find you." In the darkness, I touched a leathery leaf, chicken blood vine. In my previous life, there was a large chicken blood vine next to that trap. I felt along the vine upward, ignoring the pain as my hands were pricked. "Whimper, Guagua." A faint crying sound came from ahead. I felt like I had been electrocuted, and I frantically pushed aside the bushes in front. "Zayajita, don't be afraid. Big Brother is here. Big Brother will save you right away." Guobwa, Zayajida doesn't want to cry, but Zayajida is so scared. That baby voice was hoarse. Clearly she had been crying for a long time. These words pierced my heart like a knife. Because I used to always say she was annoying for crying, so she was trying hard to hold back her tears. I turned over and jumped down into the trap, and a cold little body directly crashed into my arms. Guogwa, the water is still a little warm. Zayajida didn't drink it. She saved it for Big Brother. I couldn't hold it in anymore and burst into loud sobs while holding her. The sip of water I didn't get in my previous life, I finally got it in this life. I took off my clothes and wrapped her in them, let her step on my shoulders to climb out first, and then I supported myself on the wall of the pit and climbed out. The little girl lay on the ground and peered into the pit, worried that I couldn't get out. What a good girl. Big Brother will take you home. At the moment I picked her up, I felt an unprecedented sense of security in my heart. She was here, she was still fine, and everything had changed. It was completely dark now, and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face in the mountain forest. Holding my sister in one arm and gripping the machete tightly in the other, I felt my way back from memory. At this time in the deep mountains, wild beasts roamed, and I couldn't afford any carelessness. After walking for a while, I suddenly felt something was wrong. Although it was very dark, I seemed to be able to vaguely see the surroundings, and my ears became unusually sharp. Was this a change brought by rebirth? There was no time to think more. This ability came just in time. When I was almost at the small path leading out of the mountains, I suddenly stopped. Something was following us. The forest was unnaturally quiet. Just a moment ago, there were occasional insect sounds, but now there was no sound at all. This was the dead silence that only occurs when a large wild beast approaches. Zayajida, hold tight to Big Brother. It might be a bit bumpy later. I lowered my voice. Zayajida is holding tight. The little girl responded drowsily, her small hands gripping my clothes. With my back to the moonlight and facing the dark depths, I began to back out. At the same time, I let out a huge roar. This was a method known to all mountain folk. Before a beast attacks, a loud sound can temporarily intimidate it. The moment I retreated into the moonlight, I breathed a sigh of relief. But it wasn't over. I heard a faint rustling sound from the forest. That thing had followed out. I didn't dare run, because running would tell it I was a fleeing prey. The moonlight was bright, and there were woods on both sides of the path. I quickened my pace, but remained steady, keeping the knife always across my chest. The rustling sound grew closer. Suddenly, the grass on the right shook violently, and a black shadow pounced straight at me. It was a half-grown wolf. This kind of wolf was the most dangerous, young, bold, and crazed with hunger. I had already tensed all my muscles. The moment it pounced, I shielded Zayajida behind me and swung the knife with my right hand, slashing with all my strength at the black shadow. Ow! The knife hit, but not in a vital spot. The wolf yelped and rolled to the ground, struggling to pounce again. How could I give it a second chance? I rushed forward 2 steps and slashed another blow at its neck. This time it was solid. The wolf twitched a few times and then stopped moving. Guogwa, don't be afraid, Big Brother is here. I turned to look at Zayajida. She was so scared that she had curled up into a ball. Her little face covered in tears, but she didn't make a sound. This silly girl, because I said I didn't like hearing her cry, she really held back her tears. My heart ached with both sourness and pain. We couldn't stay here long. The smell of blood would soon attract more beasts. I picked up Zayajida, worried that the wolf carcass would cause trouble, but I couldn't care about that now. Human life was more important. After walking some distance, I vaguely heard low growls from other beasts in the woods behind us. They had found the wolf's carcass. I quickened my pace, and finally, in the distance, there appeared scattered points of firelight. It was the villagers. The production team's loudspeaker was broadcasting, and torches and kerosene lamps were moving around like fireflies. The whole village was helping to look for Zayajida. Fuguwei, don't worry. Zayajida is so smart. She'll be fine. Someone comforted my father. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That sturdy farmer knelt down directly. The villagers quickly helped him up. We're all folks from the same village. Don't do that. The child's safety is the most important thing. Let's keep searching. On the other side, my mother, Li Xiuzhen, dragged her tired body back home. Her daughter was missing, and her son was not home either. Looking at the empty Kong, she collapsed to the ground. Fuguwei, our son is not home either. Hong Fuguwei ran in and saw the empty earthen Kong, his heart skipping a beat. But he forced himself to support his wife. Don't worry, Tianbao is old enough. He'll be fine. Let me ask the neighbors. It's late, and it's not good to disturb others, but we need to ask. He might have gone out to look for Zayajida and hasn't come back yet. Hong Fuguei was momentarily stunned, but as the head of the family, he couldn't collapse. Right, Tian Bao is grown up and exercises regularly. Maybe he really had a sudden change of heart and went to look for Zayajita. Let's go. Why are you still standing there? Hurry up and ask. Li Xiuzhen urged. This honest, gentle woman was now so nervous, anxious, and uneasy. The area is surrounded by mountains, too dangerous. Occasionally, we hear of wild beasts coming down from the team to bite people. You mentioned Tianbao? Our Dazhuang came back today and did mention him. You know, the two kids have always had some minor conflicts, and I didn't pay much attention. Who hasn't fought over something as a child? As long as they're taught, they'll change. If he can't change, then he needs to be remade. Wait a moment, I'll call that kid over. Don't worry, Tianbao is smarter than our Dazhuang. He won't have any problems. Hearing this, Hong Fuguei agreed. Children from the mountains shouldn't be too honest. A bit of cleverness makes people like them. And since they're from the same village, a little friction is normal. Hey, why did you pull me up? I was just dreaming about your daughter-in-law. At this time, there was nothing to do in the team, so people would sleep. Being dragged out of bed by his father, he was very dissatisfied. Smack. The response to Dazhuang was a slap from his father. Are you awake now? If not, I'll help you wake up again. This is your Uncle Fuguei. Tianbao hasn't come home yet. I heard you mention seeing him tonight. Where did you see him? Tell us again. Tianbao? Hearing the name, Dazhuang shuddered and became fully awake, involuntarily recalling the cleaver that almost struck him. He couldn't help but touch his forehead. Phew, good, it's still there. Dad, there's nothing to say. That kid is crazy. Smack. Dazhuang got another slap on the back of his head. What nonsense. If I tell you to speak, you speak. Your Uncle Fuguei is anxious. Don't make me use force. Daong, don't hit the child. Let's talk things out properly. Dazhuang, your uncle is anxious now. It's late, Zayajita hasn't been found, and Tianbao isn't home either. So I wanted to ask you, if you know anything, you must tell your uncle. Hearing this, Dazhuang thought for a moment, still finding it a bit hard to say. But he didn't expect Zayajita still hadn't been found. Although he didn't get along with Hong Tianbao, he really envied Hong Tianbao for having such a cute sister. His dislike for Hong Tianbao was mostly because that kid treated Zayajita badly. Uncle, hasn't Zayajita been found yet? As for Tianbao, I did see him in the evening. That kid was acting like crazy. I just blocked him, didn't get out of the way, and he went mad and swung a big cleaver at me. If I hadn't dodged quickly, I might be dead. But he seemed to be heading toward the mountains. Dazhuang recalled and said. Hearing this, Hong Fuguei's legs went weak. Fortunately, Daong, quick-eyed, caught him in time. He knew what Hong Fuguei was worried about. The mountains at night are not a place just anyone can go. Especially at this time, some animals are already active, and many beasts of prey are hunting. Going into the mountains at this time is very dangerous. Even the old hunters in the village wouldn't dare spend the night in the mountains. Fuguei, it's okay. Maybe this kid saw wrong. I didn't see wrong. That kid ran in the direction of the mountains, and he was in a hurry and had a bad temper. Dazhuang heard his father's words and immediately retorted. He was scared, but not to the point of being delirious. Shut up. Did I tell you to speak? Get back inside. Daong shouted angrily. This kid, with well-developed limbs and a simple mind, didn't realize that he was trying to comfort someone? It's okay, Daong. I'll go back first. You all get some rest. Hey, you be careful. He originally wanted to say he would go up the mountain with him, but looking at his son, and then at the house behind him, he finally sighed and didn't say it. Because he was the pillar of the family. Going into the mountains was too dangerous, especially at night. A few young men from the neighboring village didn't believe it. 3 of them, hunters, usually skilled at hunting, thought the mountains weren't that dangerous. The next day, they only found torn clothes and some broken limbs. Several families were shattered in an instant. So he wanted to help, but considering his family, he ultimately didn't speak up. Back home, Hong Fuguei sat by the bed. The dim light of the kerosene lamp fell on his face, and his hunched back looked so haggard. Ajin, you stay home. I'll go up the mountain myself to take a look. Tianbao probably hasn't gone far. I'll just look around nearby. It should be fine. After a moment of silence, Hong Fuguei spoke first. At night, we can't see anything on the mountain. With just a kerosene lamp, we can't see far, and going up directly is too dangerous. Go borrow a gun from Uncle Jioshu, and I'll go to the team leader's house to borrow a flashlight. We'll go together. If we encounter something, we can look out for each other. I'm not at ease letting you go alone. Hearing this, Hong Fuguei was silent for a while, then nodded, turned around, and went out with the lamp. Although he didn't want his wife to take risks, at this moment, no one could stay at home. On the other side, Hong Tianbao's palms were starting to sweat. If it were just him, he wouldn't be afraid, but now Xiaojida was in his arms. He was afraid of hurting Xiaojida, so he kept retreating. But the thing behind him was pressing forward step by step, and clearly, it had run out of patience. These beasts are very experienced in hunting. They know what they can and cannot do. If they were full, they might retreat, but obviously, the one Hong Tianbao encountered was a very hungry beast. Damn, Xiaojida, hold on to your brother, hold tight. We might have run into a big gray wolf. Today, your brother will get us some meat. Since we can't avoid it, we'll kill it. Otherwise, it might think I'm afraid of it. Xiaojida, in her brother's arms, wasn't scared at all. Hearing there was meat to eat, she even laughed happily. Seeing this, Hong Tianbao felt more at ease. He was afraid of leaving a shadow on his sister. Now it seemed that his little foodie sister wasn't afraid of anything when it came to food. But thinking about how his little foodie sister would share her good food with him, Hong Tianbao suddenly felt that this thing wasn't bad after all. At least it could let his sister eat meat. Their family hadn't had meat for a long time. The last time they had meat was when Uncle Jushu hunted a little yellow-haired one, a small wild boar, and gave some to their family, letting them have a bit of meat. Guogua, meat. Xiaojida wants to eat meat. Xiaojida licked her lips and said excitedly. Her brother was going to give her meat. The little one never doubted whether her brother would lie to her. She only knew that her brother was the best brother in the world and her favorite brother. Little dumpling, hold tight. Big brother will protect our little dumpling. Hong Tianbao seemed to be saying it for little dumpling to hear, but also as if saying it to himself. In this life, no one can hurt his little dumpling. Just as Hong Tianbao's words fell, suddenly, a black shadow rushed from the side towards Hong Tianbao's back, and a sound of breaking air came. This timing was exactly when Hong Tianbao had just finished speaking and was relaxed, and because of the speaking, it could cover part of its noise. It had to be said that this guy was an old hunter. But who was the prey was not certain. Hong Tianbao curled a smile at the corner of his mouth. Finally waited for you. I thought you had more patience, but unfortunately you don't. As he spoke, Hong Tianbao sidestepped, directly dodging the pouncing gray wolf. The gray wolf's agile movements, in Hong Tianbao's eyes, were directly infinitely slowed down. The sharp claws and the pungent smell of blood were nauseating, but in Hong Tianbao's view, the movements were still too slow. He flipped his hand, and the machete directly chopped down hard at the gray wolf's neck. If this strike hit squarely, the gray wolf's neck might not be spared. But the gray wolf was too fast. Although it was hit, the inertia caused Hong Tianbao's knife to tilt. Hong Tianbao could feel that after the wolf landed, it stumbled and almost couldn't stand steady. Although Hong Tianbao's eyes felt very sharp, he didn't see clearly how much he had cut, but judging from the feel of the machete, it was definitely not light. But he still remained vigilant, watching the gray wolf after it landed. This kind of gray wolf was the most common in the mountains here, usually growing to 80 to 120 gene in weight. 120 gene is equivalent to the weight of an adult. However, this kind of wolf is generally a pack animal and rarely comes out to the periphery of the forest because the pack's hunting ability is very strong, and there are more prey in the deep mountains. Moreover, the periphery is also an area of human activity. For them, humans with guns are a greater threat than tigers, so they generally don't come out of the deep mountains. This gray wolf in front of him, if nothing unexpected, should be the former leader of the pack, just driven out of the pack. Don't underestimate this kind of wolf. A lone wolf is the most ferocious. Because it has left the pack, the chance of hunger is very high. And as the former wolf king, its strength is not just talk. But Hong Tianbao could see that this guy still had wounds that hadn't healed, and it hadn't been driven out for long. Maybe it was because of the wounds. Hunting animals was not easy, so it targeted him, wanting to squeeze a soft persimmon. Guogua, are you ready? Not yet, Okay, it's fine. Hong Tianbao was just about to say not yet, when he saw that figure fall heavily. Good guy, it must have been holding on. But he didn't relax his vigilance. Instead, he cut down a wooden stick as thick as an arm, sharpened one end, and directly stabbed it hard into the gray wolf's neck. The gray wolf's huge body trembled a few times, then quieted down. Sure enough, this thing's vitality was very tenacious. It hadn't died completely just now. But now it must be dead. Cautious Hong Tianbao approached, and still gave the gray wolf a slash on the neck. He let the blood, waited a while, then buried the blood with soil, and also grabbed a handful of soil and smeared it on the gray wolf's wound to prevent other animals from following the smell of blood. Generally, people in the mountains do this too. Sometimes, if conditions allow, they can use pine needles and mugwort to cover the smell. But now Hong Tianbao didn't have time to do that. Little dumpling, in her brother's arms, her eyes rolled around, watching with interest. At this age, she didn't know what fear was, let alone that the little girl admired her brother so much, thinking her brother was omnipotent. Guagua, there's so much meat, is it fragrant? Hearing this, Hong Tianbao was stunned. This thing, he had actually eaten it in his previous life. After he got rich, he went abroad and abroad. These things were legal, but how to describe the taste? It was a bit hard to explain. When we get back, Little Dumpling will know after eating. Little Dumpling is hungry. Big brother needs to take Little Dumpling home quickly. Hold tight, we're going home. Hong Tianbao dragged the gray wolf with one hand, and with the other hand holding the machete and Little Dumpling, he ran back directly. This wolf might have been hungry for a few days, so it didn't feel very heavy to drag, but it should weigh about 100 jin. Hong Tianbao also found it incredible. When did his strength become so great? Could this be the benefit of rebirth? But in the current situation, Hong Tianbao didn't think much about it. This was a good thing. He would study it when he had time. He had come out in such a hurry that he hadn't brought any food. Little Dumpling had just said she was hungry. He couldn't let his sister go hungry. Hee, Guagua is the best, so fast, so fast. Little Dumpling hugged her brother, showing a few little teeth, very cute. Hong Tianbao held his sister in his arms, and at this moment his heart was peaceful and very at ease. Hong Tianbao didn't rest all the way, carrying his sister and rushing down from the mountain. The moonlight allowed him to see the road clearly. This feeling was very strange. He felt that his senses were very sharp. Just as he was about to go down the mountain and enter the village, he saw 2 flashlight lights in the distance. He was stunned, then his heart warmed. He knew it must be his parents risking danger to come up the mountain to find him. No need to think about who told them, because only he saw himself go up the mountain. Dad, Mom, is that you? Hong Tianbao called from afar. Hearing this, Little Dumpling, who had started to feel sleepy again, suddenly perked up and craned her neck to look in the direction her brother was calling. Mommy, Daddy. Little Dumpling called hoarsely. Hong Tianbao looked at his sister, who was speaking in a baby voice, in his arms. It was really good. Child's father, do you think I'm hallucinating? I heard our sons and daughters' voices. Li Xiuzhen's spirits lifted, but then she calmed down. It was so dark. How could they find them as soon as they came up the mountain? Huh. I thought I was the only one hallucinating, and it was quite loud. This. Tianbao. Little Dumpling. Where are you? Come out quickly. Hong Fuguei shouted loudly. Hearing the voice, Hong Tianbao knew he hadn't guessed wrong. Little Dumpling heard her father's voice. Daddy, Daddy, Little Dumpling is here. Little Dumpling's little face turned red from the effort. Hong Tianbao also quickly moved closer in the direction of his parents. Everyone knew the dangers in the mountains, but his parents, knowing this situation, still came up the mountain at night to find him. This was different from the previous life. In the previous life, no one knew if Little Dumpling was on the mountain or in which direction. In this life, Dazhuang told the family the direction he went up the mountain, so his parents came up the mountain and found them. Hearing that it was indeed Little Dumpling's voice, Li Xiuzhen was overjoyed. It's Little Dumpling. It's my Little Dumpling. I heard it. Little Dumpling is nearby. Quick, look for her. Little Dumpling, where are you? Keep talking. Mom is coming to find you. Don't be afraid. Mom will find you soon. Keep talking, you hear? Li Xiuzhen shed tears of excitement and ran desperately in the direction of the voice. In her anxiety, she tripped, but quickly got up, ignoring the pain, and kept running up the mountain. Mommy, Guagua brought Little Dumpling to find you. Guagua is the fastest. Hong Tianbao, he's fast, carrying something weighing over 100 jin in his hand, walking on flat ground at night. It seemed fast, but as a man, he was definitely not fast, he guaranteed. Hearing the voice getting closer, Hong Fuguei and his wife could already see a shadow rushing towards them. Li Xiuzhen couldn't help crying tears of joy. That figure, even if she couldn't see clearly, just the shape, she could recognize it was her son. Every move, she was extremely familiar with. After all, it was her own child. Li Xiuzhen quickened her pace, holding the flashlight and going to meet him. Hong Fuguei still looked around vigilantly. Although there is no danger here, who can guarantee it? As long as it is night, even near the village, danger cannot be ruled out. Wild boars in the mountains even come down the mountain in winter, so encountering wild animals is normal. Mother, Zayajida missed you so much. As soon as they met, Zayajida pounced out of her Guagua's arms. Li Xiuzhen only felt a familiar milky scent in her arms and held the little one tightly. Woo, Zayajida, Mother's little darling, Mother missed you too. Where did you go? You girl, Mother was worried to death. Where did you go? The mother and daughter talked aside, while Hong Fugue looked at his son. Hong Tianbao smiled and patted his father's shoulder. Dad. Good. 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 It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. His mother. The child hasn't eaten yet. Let's go home. Don't stay here. There might be wild animals passing by. It's too dangerous. Right. Let's go. Let's hurry home. It's too dangerous in the mountains. We'll talk about it when we get home. After we go back, Fugue, you go to the team leader's house and tell him that the child is back. Let's hurry home. Tianbao, Zayajida must be starving. Li Xiuzhen touched her daughter's little face, feeling heartbroken. In this era, it wasn't just their family that was struggling. Everyone was like this. Food was scarce, but they would give the best to their children. Zayajida wants to eat wild vegetable porridge. Tummy is hungry. And meat. The meat Guogua caught for Zayajida. Suddenly, as if remembering something, Zayajida pointed excitedly in Hong Tianbao's direction and said, Meat? Tianbao, what are you dragging? It was then that Hong Fugue noticed that his son seemed to be dragging something with one hand, but he had been focused on the child just now and hadn't noticed. Now, hearing his daughter's words, he noticed that his son seemed to have something in his hand. Just a beast. When I brought my sister out earlier, this thing tracked us. I didn't want to bother with it, but it wouldn't let us go, so I killed it. Let's go home first, and I'll tell you when we get back. Hearing tracked, Hong Fugue couldn't help but tighten his grip on the gun, quickly shone the flashlight over, and when he saw the thing, he couldn't help but gasp. Hiss, a gray wolf. Tianbao, where are you hurt? His mother. Hurry home and check Tianbao's injuries. Just now, a gray wolf attacked Tianbao. A gray wolf, 100-gene gray wolf. Thinking of this, he didn't dare think more, quickly pulled his son, and was about to carry him on his back, fearing that his son might have a fatal injury. Dad, it's fine. This gray wolf was killed by me with one knife. I have no injuries. Let's go home. In this weather, we need to skin the wolf before it stiffens. But this wolf has injuries. It should be the former wolf king driven out by the pack. Otherwise, killing it might have taken more effort. To reassure his parents, Hong Tianbao tried to make the wolf's injuries sound more serious. Let's go home first. In this weather, you might be too tense and not notice a wound. His mother, let's go. I'll carry this gray wolf with our son. Hearing Hong Tianbao's words, Hong Fugue breathed a sigh of relief, but didn't fully relax. They still needed to go back and check. Li Xiuzhen was also nervous. Only Zayajida laughed carefreely. All the way, she talked about how amazing her brother was, as if his being amazing made her happier than her own achievements. With the little girl's carefree laughter, the couple's hearts also relaxed a bit. Dad, you go ahead. I'll follow you. I can carry this gray wolf myself and keep up with you no problem. Before his father could refuse, Hong Tianbao directly hoisted the gray wolf onto his shoulder. It wasn't to show off, but to not delay Zayajida's dinner. After all, since she got lost until now, she hadn't eaten anything. Even he, an adult, was hungry, let alone a child. Good lad, you're even stronger than your father. Seeing his son carry the 100-gene gray wolf without changing expression or even swaying, Hong Fugue said excitedly. The child had grown up without him noticing. But children in the village started helping with work early, and his son was no exception. However, heavy work was usually not given to his son, so seeing him carry it, he was so excited. In the countryside, without strength, you can't do the work. You talk too much. Hurry and support the child. Let's go back first and talk about it when we get home. We still have work tomorrow. Li Xiuzhen said to her silly old man with annoyance. The son said he could carry it, so he carried it. How old is the son? Really? All right, I'll support him. Let's go, let's hurry home. Hong Fugue said with a silly smile. Under the moonlight, two beams of light in the cold wilderness seemed so warm. The family chatted as they walked home. But most of the talking wasn't done by Hong Tianbao, but by the eager Zayajida, who was grabbing the conversation. The little girl didn't know how dangerous she had been. She just knew she missed her brother and her mother. Her stomach was hungry, and she was cold. Then she heard her brother calling her, and her brother really came. Zayajida even brought water for Guogua. Hearing their daughter's words, the couple broke out in a cold sweat. They didn't dare imagine how their son had found their daughter, nor did they dare think about what might have happened to her if not for their son. They knew too well, so they dared not think further. Tianbao, how did you know Zayajida was there? The route you took to the mountain today shouldn't have gone that way, right? Li Xiuzhen asked, puzzled. The daughter didn't know where her brother was on the mountain, so she didn't take the path her brother had taken, but her brother knew where she was. That was amazing. I don't know. I had a dream. I dreamed that Zayajida was calling me there, so I rushed out. He could only explain it that way. He couldn't say that in his previous life, he had regretted it so much that in this life, he must save his sister. Heaven had given him this chance, and he must seize it. Maybe it's fate. Zayajida fell into a pit while looking for her brother, and Tianbao could find her by intuition at her most dangerous moment. No matter what, when I go back, I must worship the mountain god. It's good to come back safely. It's good to come back safely, Li Xiuzhen murmured. The people here deeply respect the mountains because they believe the mountains provide them with abundant resources, allowing them to survive. The family chatted as they returned home. Hong Fuguei was about to skin the wolf. In this weather, in a while, the wolf would stiffen, making skinning very difficult. Although this gray wolf skin was a bit damaged, it could still sell for 20 yuan. You know, in this era, a worker's salary was only 30 yuan. The iron rice bowl that so many dreamed of was only 30 yuan, and this gray wolf skin was worth over 20. If the quality was good, the price would be even higher. Child's father, you go to the team leader's house and tell him first. It'll be late soon, and everyone will be asleep. Then I'll handle the wolf skin. Hearing this, Hong Tianbao remembered. His maternal grandmother's family was very skilled at hunting. Although his mother didn't hunt, she was definitely an expert at skinning and handling furs at home. But after marrying into the Hong family, she never had the chance to use those skills. As for his maternal grandfather, Hong Tianbao thought about it. His impression was very vague, because since Zayajida's accident, the family had no relatives coming and going. His parents died early, and he also left this sad place early. But he vaguely remembered that his maternal grandfather had come to see them. Why was the impression so deep? Because when his maternal grandfather came, there was a lot of meat at home. But at that time, Zayajida probably wasn't born yet. As for where his maternal grandfather lived, he seemed to have heard of it, but Hong Tianbao didn't remember clearly. It was too long ago. All right, this is suitable for you. Then I'll go talk to the captain first. Tianbao, make your sister something to eat. When Hong Fuguei heard his wife's words, he was stunned for a moment, then quickly reacted. My wife is an expert at this. I know, but I want to get some meat for Zayajida, so after mom finishes skinning it, I'll take some meat. Hong Tianbao hadn't forgotten that he promised his sister she'd get to eat meat. Okay, first make your sister some wild vegetable porridge. This meat is tough. I'll take some tender parts and put them in the porridge for you later. It's too late today, and processing these hides is troublesome. I can only tan them for now, but the tanning process is quite complicated and takes a lot of time. You go cook the porridge first. Zayajida, don't get so close. Li Xiuzhen looked at her obedient daughter with a mix of amusement and helplessness. The little girl was sticking out her little bottom, staring at the wolf in her hands. But she didn't speak loudly. She had gotten her daughter back after losing her, and now she couldn't bear to scold her. Mom, is Guogua the most awesome? Such a big wolf. Guogua can beat it. Guogua is the best. Yes, your brother is the best, okay? No matter how bad your brother treated you before, you still love your brother. And you like to stick to him the most. I really can't do anything with you. Mom is busy now, so go to your brother. Don't touch anything. Or you can take a stool and sit over there. Otherwise, when it gets dark, Mom can't see you and might accidentally bump into you, understand? Zayajida will go watch Guogua. Zayajida nodded obediently, then trotted on her short legs, and ran to the small room next door. That was the family's woodshed and also the kitchen. Though it was crude, firelight was blazing inside. And on this cold night, it was especially warm. Hong Tianbao had just started the fire and put the washed rice in the pot. Although he hadn't lit a fire in years, it seemed etched in his memory. And he didn't feel unfamiliar at all. He naturally noticed Zayajida's arrival. With such a small commotion, who else could it be but the little one? Guogua, Zayajida came to help Guogua start the fire. Zayajida held a bamboo stick with both hands, stumbling along. Hong Tianbao didn't help, just praised from the side. Our Zayajida is the best. You can even help your brother start a fire. But be careful. Go slowly. Don't fall. I won't. Zayajida helps mom start fires, very skill. With a thud, before the little one could finish speaking, her short legs tripped over a small branch on the ground. Luckily, Hong Tianbao was nearby and had been watching, so he reached out and scooped her up. But somehow, the bamboo stick in Zayajida's hand had disappeared, and her chubby little hands were covering her face. But if you say she was scared, she didn't scream. People scream when they panic, but she didn't. If you say she wasn't scared, she was tightly covering her face and didn't dare open her eyes. Okay, it's fine now. Next time, be careful, understand? Hearing Hong Tianbao's words, Zayajida peeked through the gaps between her fingers with her round eyes. And seeing herself in Guogua's arms, she reached out a small hand and patted Hong Tianbao's chest. Guogua, don't be afraid. Zayajita will protect you. Hong Tianbao. Hong Tianbao was a bit amused and helpless. Good grief, anyone would think I was the one who fell. This girl. Are you scared, or is your brother scared? Guogua is scared. If Zayajita falls, isn't Guogua afraid that Zayajita will fall? Zayajita's chubby little face looked at Hong Tianbao with innocent confusion. Hong Tianbao was momentarily speechless. It seemed to make some sense, but he didn't know where these twisted ideas came from. Yes, your brother is worried. Come here, your brother will roast a sweet potato for you. Also, just now when I was gathering firewood, I saw a longhorn beetle larva, and I'll roast it for you to eat. Sit here obediently and keep warm. The nights in the mountains are very cold, especially now that winter is approaching. The wind outside is very strong at night, and Zayajita's little face was red from the cold. This was the perfect time to warm up by the fire. Zayajita is the most obedient. Hearing about the beetle larva, Zayajita's eyes lit up, and she sat there quietly, watching her brother roast the larva for her. This insect is the longhorn beetle larva, which is actually the larva of the longhorn beetle. In this era when meat was scarce, the village children especially loved eating these, and Zayajita was no exception. Watching Zayajita place her little hands on her belly, leaning forward, a tiny bundle. She was very cute, but a bit thin, with malnourished hair and a slightly yellow face. Guogua, it smells good. Can we eat it now? Not yet. Wait a bit more. Guogua, Zayajita has waited a long time. Can it be eaten now? Almost. Our Zayajita can eat it when she counts to 11. Hearing that she could eat when she counted to 11, Zayajita obediently held out both hands. At such a young age, she had already learned to count under her mother's teaching. 1, 2, 9, 10, 1, 2. Hearing the little one count to 10 and run out of fingers, then go back to her left hand's first finger and shout 1. Hong Tianbao almost couldn't help but laugh, but he managed to hold it in. And so, after a while, Zayajita lifted her little head in confusion. Guogua, why has Zayajita counted for so long and there's still no 11? At such a young age, she remembered which finger was 1 and which was 10, but her mother hadn't told her which one was 11. Okay, you can eat now. 11 comes after 10. Your brother will serve you some porridge. Go sit obediently at the table, and your brother will bring it to you. It's very hot, so you have to blow on it before eating, understand? Zayajita knows. If it's hot, your mouth hurts, hee. Zayajita showed her brother a cute smile, obediently put her hands behind her back, and followed her brother. Mom, do you need help? How about I do this? When Hong Tianbao came out, he saw a complete gray wolf skin, and his mother was working hard to remove the excess fat from the skin, so he couldn't help asking. It's fine. I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm a bit rusty. When your dad comes back, have him cut up the meat. Gray wolf meat isn't worth much, so we'll keep it at home. With this meat, we can nourish you and your sister. And with this gray wolf skin, this winter will be much easier. You should go eat something too. You must be starving. Li Xiuzhen didn't look up, her eyes full of joy as she looked at the gray wolf skin. Corn was only 15 cents a pound now, and commodity rice was only 30 cents a pound. This 20 yuan was over 100 pounds of corn, which was a huge sum for a family. But she was reluctant to spend it on those things and instead saved it. This 20 yuan was definitely a fortune for the family. You know, a family of 3 or 4 people earned in a year. One person's annual work points would bring in about 40 yuan. This 20 yuan was already half a year's income for an adult, and it could be used for so many things. I'm not that hungry yet. Zayajita, how about you sit at the door and eat, okay? Your brother will help Mom. Okay. Hearing her brother's words, Zayajita hopped over to get a stool, sat down, then ran to get another taller stool. Guogua, put it here. It's hot. Okay, good girl. Your brother will put it here. Remember to blow on it and wait until it's not hot before eating, understand? Hong Tianbao smiled, put down the porridge in his hand, and then patted Zayajita's dry hair. Zayajita is the most obedient. Guogua, eat. Zayajita took her little spoon and stirred it in the porridge, then scooped up the biggest piece of meat she could see and offered it to her brother. This kind of thing was already ingrained in Zayajita's bones. Give the best meat to Guogua to eat, because Xiageta has eaten Guogua's food since she was born. But seeing this, Hong Tianbao only felt his nose was very sore, and his eyes were a bit blurry, but he managed to hold back. Brother is not hungry, Xiageta, you eat. Brother is going to help Mom. Be good, Xiageta. If you're cold, tell brother. And brother will take you back to bed to sleep under the covers. Okay. Xiageta made an awoo sound, showing a cute smile at her Guogua, her little feet swinging back and forth, so happy. Tianbao, This time I feel you've changed a lot. You used to hate Xiaogeta, but now your attitude towards her is completely different. Before, when we told you, you wouldn't listen. This change is really unexpected for us." Li Xiaojun looked at her son coming to help, smiled, and said softly. This change made her feel really good. Her son finally reconciled with his sister, and the family wouldn't be worried anymore. I've come to terms with it. After I dreamed that Xiaogeta disappeared, our family fell apart. You and Dad were gloomy every day, and the home didn't feel like a home. Maybe I never hated Xiaogeta. I just hadn't figured it out all along. Once I figured it out, everything became simple. Hong Tianbao looked at Xiaogeta over here. As if sensing that her brother and mother were looking at her, Xiaogeta showed a sweet smile. "Xiaogeta, is the porridge your brother cooked tasty?" Li Xiaojun looked at her daughter's well-behaved appearance and couldn't help but ask with a smile. She knew her daughter had been staring at them just now, looking curious and well-behaved, not disturbing them. That's how her daughter was, very obedient. So everyone in the family loved this girl. Except for the former Hong Tianbao, no one in the family or nearby disliked the little girl. Even though Da Zhuang had issues with Hong Tianbao, he really liked Xiaogeta. The atmosphere in their village was still quite good. Although they also favored boys over girls, it was relatively speaking. They treated the boys a bit better, but they didn't really treat the girls badly or anything. Just like in Hong Tianbao's family, they still felt that sons were more important, so sometimes when Xiaogeta was bullied by him, the family would only say a few light words. But Hong Tianbao used to hate Xiaogeta, especially when it came to food. Whenever Xiaogeta gave him something delicious, he would take it without hesitation and never showed her a good face. But Xiaogeta was always happy to do it. Even though what she liked was eaten by her brother, she was still happy because he ate what she gave him, and that made her happy. Now, thinking about how he used to be, Hong Tianbao couldn't help but want to slap himself twice. Such a little sister gave him delicious food, and he actually ate it without considering her feelings at all. If it weren't for what happened in his previous life, he might have thought his sister owed him forever. But what fault did this cute little girl have? Hearing her mother's words, Xiaogeta's voice became much lighter. Hee, it's so tasty. Mom, you eat. Guo Guo is the best. Right, your brother is the best. Mom will eat after she's done. You eat your meal properly. If you get sleepy after eating, Dad will be back soon, and your best brother will take you to rest. As she spoke, footsteps were heard at the door. Sure enough, it was Hong Fuguei who had returned, but with him was also the production team leader. Team leader, it's so late. Why did you make a trip? Seeing the team leader, Li Xiaojun quickly greeted him. The team leader had great prestige in the team, especially since he was fair and just, unlike the tyrants in other teams. The people in the team respected him very much. The two kids weren't found, so I couldn't sleep either. Alas, in this society, don't blame us for not going up the mountain. Our team is not like other production teams. Other teams at least have a few guns. Our team, only old man Hong Jinshan has a shotgun, and it can only scare those big creatures. Its lethality is limited. The visitor side, their team had the least meat because they had no hunters. And he, as the team leader, was also ridiculed for it. No, how could that be? The team is so busy, and you still helped us search for so long. I'm already very grateful to everyone. Many people in the village came out to help in the evening, and they kept it in their hearts. It's only right. We're all in the same team. How could we not help? It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Good lad. Such a big gray wolf, and you dared to take it on with just a knife. You have guts. You're a brave warrior. Your father told me you killed a gray wolf, and I couldn't believe it. Someone in the team had fought a big gray wolf before, and that was this kid's great uncle, considered a capable person in the village. That shotgun was better than nothing. At least it was fine for hunting small prey. Usually, the old man treasured it dearly. It was only this time, when he heard that Hong Tianbao and his sister were in trouble. He originally wanted to go along, since he was familiar with the mountains, but Hong Fuguei held him back. In recent years, the great uncle's health had not been good, and he didn't go up the mountain much anymore. So naturally, they couldn't let him go. It was so dark. What if he fell? Although more people meant more strength, their conscience made them choose not to let the great uncle go up the mountain. This kid is also bold. Xiaogeta fell into an abandoned trap on the mountain and couldn't climb out. I don't know where it was, but it must have been very remote. The kid took his machete and charged up, and it was as if the mountain god had shown his power, allowing him to find Xiaogeta. Hong Fuguei showed a rare smile on his face. The wrinkles on his face, weathered by wind and sun, told of the hardships he had endured. The couple worried about their daughter, then about their children, and that feeling of panic and restlessness made him exhausted. But when he saw the children, he was completely relieved. As long as nothing went wrong, it was fine, but it also made him more vigilant. He had to keep an eye on his daughter. The little girl was still too young. If it hadn't been for his son suddenly acting as if possessed by the mountain god, not only finding his daughter, but also killing a big gray wolf, he didn't know if the couple would have had a future. If the children were gone, life would have no hope. Hee, Uncle June, I had no choice. It was a hungry wolf. And I also took advantage of the fact that it was injured. I was already about to reach the small path on the outskirts. I knew something was following me, and I guessed it was this thing, because only it has such high intelligence. But I thought this thing wasn't very bold, so when I was about to come out, I shouted loudly, thinking to startle it, and then quickly come out to the small path outside. That way, it shouldn't chase after me. Not bad, not bad. You're bold and careful. Very good. I believe. Even an adult might not do as well as you in this situation. Generally, if you come out, these animals should retreat. But you encountered a hungry wolf. And it was an injured wolf king driven out of the pack. So that's why it appeared here, right? Good kid, you've changed. Hong Jun looked at the calm young man in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. This kid, he could see before that he had some wisdom, but he didn't have this calm and composed demeanor. Yeah, I also feel this brat has changed. It's like he grew up overnight. I see a man's sense of responsibility in him, and his attitude towards Xia Geta has changed too. Haha, team leader, stay today. Let's have some wolf offal and a drink. Meat was rare at this time, and even offal was uncommon, so it was a luxury. Do you have liquor? The smell of the wolf's organs is a bit strong, but I like strong flavors, so I can drink it. Haha, I'll go back and get some liquor. I'll provide the liquor, you provide the food. But agreed. We can't drink too much. We still have to work tomorrow. Hee, I'm embarrassed, but I really don't have any liquor at home. Usually, when he had liquor, he drank it sparingly, and it was precious. He couldn't even eat his fill, so how could he dare to drink? He would only take a tiny sip occasionally to satisfy his craving, but every time he drank, he wanted to slap himself. Because his children couldn't even eat their fill, so even a sip was too extravagant. All right, don't I know you? I'll go get the liquor. Team leader, when I sell the wolf skin, I'll buy kerosene. I still owe those villagers a lot, and I'm already very grateful to them. I can't let them burn their own kerosene. In this era, kerosene is already a rare commodity. People usually can't bear to use it. Now kerosene costs 0.25 yuan per caddy, which is as expensive as rice. I heard that in some places in the south, it has already reached 0.3 yuan per caddy. How much money does a person get in a year? So everyone saves and scrimps. As for my family, no need to mention. With this little thing, if you mention it, I'll be too embarrassed to come over for a drink. As for the others, in this short time, they haven't used much, and they don't intend to ask for compensation. After all, everyone volunteered to help, and many are from the same clan. Let's not talk about this matter. It's also their intention. They know the character of you too, and if you say you'll repay, you definitely intend to repay. So they all told me, let's forget it. When Tian Bao becomes prosperous, if he treats them to meat, they'll be even happier. The team leader said jokingly, in this era, who can afford to treat the whole team to meat? Usually, when they get a bit of meat, they'd even lick the plate clean. Uncle June, definitely, I'll treat everyone to meat then. Hong Tianbao affirmed. He knew the man in front of him was joking, but he was serious. He believed that treating the villagers who helped to a stewed meat meal was something he could do. Although he didn't have the means now, he would soon. Haha, it's good to have this intention. If only we could eat meat every day, how wonderful that would be. Or even better, to have a small piece of our own land. But how could that be possible? Hearing this, Hong Tianbao's heart stirred. This matter had actually been implemented in many places and for many years, but there had been no action here yet. However, it would be soon. A leader would come down from above to replace the incompetent and timid leaders, and then the policies here would be implemented vigorously. Uncle June, I heard that land can now be contracted. It should be soon for us too. Your idea will soon be realized. Contracted land? Tianbao, who did you hear that from? Hong Jun asked without thinking. Just heard. Well, this kid must have heard it from hearsay. But even if it's true, where would we get the money? Hong Fugui shook his head. Now most people think the same way. Where would they get so much money for this? What if they lose? Would the family starve? Hearing his father's words, Hong Tianbao fell silent. Yes, at this time, where was there any money? In his previous life, he went out and struggled desperately, taking many detours, working alone, and only with the right opportunity did he rise. He was originally poor. If he failed, it would be hard to start over. Unlike the rich, who could change direction and continue. There was always a right path. The rich could make up for their mistakes with money, but the poor's mistakes were gambling with their youth. But how many youths does a person have? But back to this time, his experiences were the foundation of his success. No, hearing Tianbao say this, I've also heard other team leaders mention it. I didn't believe it before, but now I think it's not groundless. I feel this is an opportunity. If it really opens up, it will definitely be a chance. Hong Tianbao nodded in agreement. This man, before he left this place, indeed had good foresight. He seized the opportunity and directly became the richest man in the team, and was also one of the first to try new things. Yes, if this decision really comes down, it means it would be more conducive to development. But we are too poor. If I could become a glorious worker and earn such a high salary every month, then contracting would be fine. But for people like us, it's hard. By the way, I heard that a few educated youths came to the village. How about our team? A few did come, but they are all delicate young girls who can't carry on their shoulders or lift with their hands. They don't help much here. But if you want to find a wife for Tianbao, you could consider them. Those are educated youths. Although they can't do manual labor, they are well educated. Think about it. Anyway, Tianbao is of age. Well, Uncle Jun, I'm still young, no rush. Hong Tianbao was a bit embarrassed. How old was he? Not young? But indeed, in this era, people married early. Because of this, they were still young and had the strength to work. Since they weren't workers and didn't have a stable salary, the sooner they married, the better. Haha, you're not young anymore. When I was your age, my child could already run. But you always seemed like you hadn't grown up. At that time, I told your father to find you a daughter-in-law. A man, once he has a daughter-in-law, will grow up overnight. But your father thought the family was indeed a bit difficult, and you were still young, so he wanted to wait. But now I think it's time. Among the educated youths who came this time, there are quite a few pretty ones. Uncle Jun will take you to see them. Whichever you like, Uncle Jun will have someone propose for you. Uncle Jun, stop joking. Hurry up and help my dad clean these awful. Or if they smell, I won't care. Hong Tianbao said with a smile. Haha, you kid, a little smell is not a problem. Everyone knows your Uncle Jun likes things with a bit of smell. But you guys won't like it. This meat thing, you might not stand the smell of the awful. Fuguwei, you clean it later. I'll go to your ninth grandpa's place to get some of his herbs. He's the professional. With his herbs, these things will definitely smell delicious. The best at cooking game in the village is naturally ninth grandpa, the hunter. Ninth grandpa once cooked wolf for the villagers, which the village bought from him. When they made a big pot of rice in the village, the taste was unforgettable. No need. When I went to your place, I passed by ninth grandpa's house. I happened to return the borrowed shotgun to ninth grandpa. When ninth grandpa heard that Tianbao had caught a gray wolf, he gave me the herbs, and also gave me a portion of herbs for soaking the wolf meat. He told me to soak it first, then hang it to dry, so that when we eat it, there won't be any gamey smell. That's good, haha. You two are closer, so I don't need to say anything. I'll go back and get the wine. You wash the offal, and I'll be back soon. Okay, but call the family over. I'll cook more, add some meat, and it'll be lively with more people. No, they've all rested. Just us drinking is fine. As he said, he had already gone out. Fuguwei, later, hang the soaked wolf meat to dry. Tomorrow, send some to ninth grandpa. In the past, when grandpa caught things, he often helped us. Li Xiuzhen stood up, loosened her waist, and looked at her husband. I know. I was thinking the same. Tianbao, you caught this gray wolf. How do you feel about our decision? Hearing his father suddenly ask this, Hong Tianbao was stunned. He didn't expect his father to ask for his opinion. What opinion could he have? He was just thinking about what to do to make the family rich. Now, building a house on the team's land was simple. His own home was too small now. He needed his own room, but all of this required money. Dad, this is only right. You can decide on this matter. But when you cook porridge tomorrow, put some meat in it. Little Geta is too skinny. She needs more nourishment. As for the meat, I'll figure it out. But I guarantee little Geta will have meat every day. Buffed you kid, thinking about eating meat every day. Eating it once a month is already amazing. How can you eat it every day? After this meat is prepared, although there's a lot, we can't eat it every day. I was thinking that next time your dad goes to town, he could trade some for potatoes. We don't have many potatoes at home, and this year's harvest in the team was poor. Saying this, Li Xiuzhen's eyes dimmed. This year, the team's grain output was low. Although due to natural disasters, the team didn't have to hand in public grain this year. The grain distributed to each household was still too little, not enough to eat. The family's grain was already running low. Now that we have meat, naturally we want to trade for some. Mom, I'll figure this out. Our family is backed by the mountains, and there are many resources. What can a child like you do? Alas, it's also because we too have no ability, making you suffer. Although we are backed by the mountains, it's too dangerous inside. You must not go up the mountain. If you encounter a wolf pack, or a bear, or even a tiger. Your ninth grandpa once heard the sound of a tiger in the mountains. He was so scared that he waited on the tree for a long time and didn't dare to move, so don't mess around. Li Xiaojun was a bit worried that her son might get carried away. There are many resources in the mountains, but dangers are everywhere. Not to mention these beasts. Even the venomous snakes and insects in the mountains are not easy to deal with. Many people who go into the mountains have their own special remedies to deal with these. Her father did have them, but this skill was passed down to sons, not daughters, so she only knew that the family had them, but didn't know how to make them. Of course, this was a family rule, not that her family didn't love their daughters. On the contrary, her father loved her the most, even more than her brothers. At that time, her family didn't want her to marry here, thinking the conditions were poor, but she was like that. Once she took a liking to someone, she didn't care about anything else. Although the couple lived a hard life, it turned out that her choice was right. He was honest and down to earth, and they had a pair of lovely children, but the son didn't like his daughter. That gave them a headache, but now everything had changed. Guogua, Zayajida has finished eating. Eat your fill, Zayajida, go wash the dishes. A small figure of 3.5 years old, malnourished, not very tall, holding a small bowl with both hands, was about to wash the dishes. Leave it there, brother will wash it later. Come here, brother will wipe your hands. Mom, let me do the work for you, you just guide me. While washing my hands, I'll wash sister's bowl, and then you can also go eat some porridge. I cooked some. No, Guogua said, one should do one's own things. Hearing this, a scene from Hong Tianbao's memory surfaced. It was once. He saw Zayajida after eating, leaving the bowl for mom to clean up. This was normal. After all, a 3.5-year-old child being able to feed herself was already impressive, and at that time, his parents also cleaned up his bowls and chopsticks. But Hong Tianbao didn't know why. He was very angry and scolded the little one. The little one pursed her lips, looking at him, not daring to cry. Because if she cried, Guogua would dislike her even more, so Zayajida didn't cry. If it were in later generations, he felt he would have been beaten by his parents long ago, but at this time, they wouldn't. His parents also doted on him, even spoiled him. They both felt it was because they were useless, which made their son feel that his food was being taken away. If they were capable, there would be more than enough to eat. So why would there be any grabbing? At that time, the parents blamed everything on themselves. Zayajida held back her tears, took the bowl herself, washed it clean, then brought it to her Guogua, wanting to show him that she could wash the bowl. But at that time, Hong Tianbao only thought she was clumsy, getting herself all wet washing a bowl, and he disliked her. The little girl felt very wronged, stood holding her bowl for a long time, and finally was carried back by Li Xiaojun. But from then on, Zayajida washed her own dishes. Even if her mother wanted to help, she wouldn't let her. Every time her mother washed dishes, she would quietly watch from the side, very well-behaved and sensible. Coming back to reality, Hong Tianbao's eyes reddened, watching the little one washing dishes with her small hands. After finishing, she looked at him with expectation. Great, our Zayajida is the best, so young and already washing dishes by herself. Seeing that expectant look, Hong Tianbao finally said the words that in his previous life, Zayajida had always wanted to hear, but never had the chance. Hearing this, a bright smile appeared on Zayajida's face, and her eyes suddenly lit up. Mommy, mommy, Guogua said Zayajida is great. Look, this is the bowl Zayajida washed. Guogua said it's amazing, Such a simple sentence made the little girl happily spin around her mother, repeating the words over and over, like a little elf in the forest, which made Hong Tianbao's eyes well up again, but he held it back, afraid of scaring the family. Okay, stop jumping around. Since you're full, play here for a while. Mom and brother will finish up here, then give you a bath. You're too dirty. After the bath, you can go to sleep. Motherly looked at her daughter circling around her, without any impatience, but very happy. This feeling of having something lost and regained made her cherish the family time even more. Okay, Zayajida will stay here and watch Mom and Guogua. In the little girl's world, there was no sadness. Only when Guogua ignored her did she feel sad. Now, she felt Guogua was so nice, and her happiness was visible. Guogua wiped sweat. The little girl ran over with a cloth. Although the weather was already cold, Hong Tianbao, who was tanning leather, had fine beads of sweat on his forehead. It wasn't from exhaustion, But because this kind of tanning wasn't about brute force, but about soft strength and skill, he obviously wasn't very good at it, but he did it more easily than his mother, so he took over. Actually, it could be sold without tanning, but the price would be lower. Obviously, this money was very precious to the current Hong family, so they wouldn't let it go, especially since he knew how to do it. Brother isn't tired. Thank you, our Zayajita. Mom, go give Zayajita a bath. I boiled some water inside just now. This leather is almost done. I'll need it a bit more, and by the time you come out after bathing Zayajita, I'll be about done. Just in time, the awful dad is cooking should be ready to eat. After eating, we'll rest early. By the way, I'll return Uncle Ninth's gun tomorrow. Dad, you can just put it away. Okay, remember to take a hind leg with you. Your great uncle can use some meat as a medicinal guide. You should get better. Got it, Mom, go ahead. Hong Tianbao urged. All right, you can work a bit more. Actually, it's about done now, but it's better to work a bit longer. Tianbao has become sensible. Then I'll take Zayajita to bathe first. Fugaway, tomorrow I want to kill the chicken at home. To worship the mountain god. As she said this, Li Xiuzhen's eyes were full of reluctance. There were only 2 chickens at home, only one old hen, and it was still laying eggs. The nutrition of the 2 children at home depended on the eggs from this chicken. The other one was still small, so she was very reluctant to kill it. But today her children came back safely. She felt it was the mountain god's blessing. If she didn't worship, it wouldn't be right. Hearing this, Hong Fugaway was also stunned for a moment, then looked at the 2 children and replied with a smile. That's fine, we have so much meat at home. It should be enough to last until the other chicken starts laying eggs. If not, I'll borrow a few eggs and return them later. And after selling this wolf skin, we can buy 2 more chickens, then Zayajita can have eggs. Usually, there was only 1 egg at home, and most of the time, the son ate it. Sometimes, even if it was given to the daughter, she would take it to her brother and give it to him, then lick her fingers and watch from the side. His father's words obviously reminded Hong Tianbao of these things. Dad, I've grown up. Eating eggs won't make me grow taller. From now on, let sister eat the eggs at home, but I will earn money to buy malted milk for sister. He originally wanted to say milk powder, but thinking about it, such a high-end thing wasn't available at the supply and marketing cooperative here yet. Malted milk was already very high-end. Give it to Guogua to eat. Zayajita is still young and can't eat much. Guogua, don't dislike Zayajita.